So today we're making ube cake. You got to line the actual pan with a 6-inch parchment bit of paper and the sides. That's 80 grams of oil, 70 grams of white granulated sugar. This is 98 grams of egg yolk. This is 80 grams of milk. And you've got 80 grams of cake flour. You've got ube extract, 1 teaspoon, and a pinch of salt, rock salt. And here we go. We're going to start by pouring the oil into the cake flour, and the oil has to be heated up to 60 degrees. Let it cool down, and then obviously proceed by putting it into the flour. And then we don't want to stir too much because we don't want too much gluten. Now we've put the egg yolks in so we can get a nice smooth batter. And now we're going to add the milk in as well. Normally have the milk at room temperature. It will make it so much more smoother and cleaner. Now we're adding the rock salt. Normally I crush this down, but I do like big bits of rock salt. I think it looks and tastes kind of nice with little hints of rock salt. Now we're putting ube in. This is 1 teaspoon. So we want to mix that in, but not too much. Just until just combined. Now we've got the egg whites. I'm using a stand mixer. And I've just done this up to soft peaks by adding 70 grams of sugar. Now I'm about to add the first bit into the base and mix that together so it holds well together with the batter before I put in the extra meringue. Now I'm adding more of the meringue and actually putting it together. So I'm using a little technique here to be able to incorporate the batter with the meringue. Because you do not want to overbeat it, because then you'll add too much gluten and then you'll get a really hard cake. So I'm adding the final bits in right now. Now I'm using the technique again. I normally use a spatula to fold in, but I think for this video it makes it a lot easier for you guys just to use a balloon whisk. Now I'm scraping the bottom, but I'm not going too hard. As you can see, it's very, very high indeed. And this is for a 6-inch cake. But we want it to get the height to about 4 inches. And we want it to be nice, soft, fluffy and moist. Now I'm about to pour the batter in, and this has got to be done from probably about 30 centimeters in height. It's just so it mixes and incorporates without you still mixing with your hand. And as you can see, it's filling up this pan pretty well. And you do want it to be quite high because you can get a nice little glaze over the top and a nice little bit of colouring. And when it's obviously left for about 6 hours to overnight, you get a nice soft moist top as well as the actual cake itself. So right now I'm using a big toothpick, if you want to call it that, and I'm just literally using the toothpick right now to take out the bubbles out of the batter, and I think I did let it drop to like take the air bubbles out. Now I'm using boiling water and I'm about to put this in the oven, and here you go. This is what it looks like. So this is straight out of the oven. And at the moment, it's super wobbly. It's still wobbly now, actually. And this is the next day that I'm talking about this. It's still wobbly, still soft and moist. It literally will last probably between 4 and 5 days if you keep it in an airtight container. And it will absorb all the moisture. But you just got to be careful not to have too much moisture, because obviously it's going to make the cake wet. And you don't really want that. So, and sweaty. So at the moment I'm just tapping it, making sure everything's okay, and it's very nice. I like it. It looks very ombre-ish, and I'm just unraveling it. So after it comes out the oven, so I bake for probably about 2 hours depending, because sometimes I'm just nurturing it in the oven, making sure that it's the right height. If you don't know your oven, it could be too hot and crack the cake, and it can make it sunken, and you can make it soggy and hard base. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with this cake. It is quite a hard cake to make, but perseverance and practice should work. But yeah, the whole cake's delicious, soft, squishy, and just how it's meant to be. And I just want you guys to actually look at this cake. This is like 4 inches in height. And this is what you need to expect. And there you can see it's wobbling as well. And this is after 20 minutes rest from the oven. So you can imagine when it came out the oven how wobbly it really is. But when you slice it, whew, even nicer.